to thank one of my subscribers, Christian, for this article. And this came out in the Washington Post. And ladies and gentlemen, crime is actually going down in America, despite the fact that many people are trying to act like it's just over the top. America is violent, don't get me wrong, but the crime rates are still going down, especially in the Black community. The urban areas, it's dropping. You know where it's rising? In the rural areas, because that's where drugs, especially opioids, are going over the top. So they have the highest crime rate. And that's something we were saying even during the crack epidemic, but there are some people that try to claim we are inherently violent. So that being said, then the crime rate should never go down among the Black community, but it does. And it has been for quite some time. And it's a very significant drop too. So let's get into this article. Black imprisonment rates are down. It's important to know why. All right. Bad news. Criminal justice is around us. Relative to white people, Black people receive longer sentences for the same crimes. We know that this has been historic in America. It has been this way since there's been a criminal justice system in America. They always make sure the Black community get the harshest crimes. And now we see white rapists just getting 10 years probation and walking the hell out of the courtroom, even when they rape their own women and children. Are treated more disrespectfully by police in routine interactions and are likely to be shot by police during confrontations. And this is why you hear many in the Black community say, we don't even want to rely on cops anymore. And I understand why. And I really support that. We really need our own system within the community of how to deal with the ones that are incorrigible among us and not get the cops involved. You call the police, you're calling for your death sentence if you're in the Black community. And of course, Black people are overrepresented in the nation's incarcerated population. And that's because they keep putting us in there for these petty crimes. And sometimes there's no crime committed at all, and you go to jail anyway. Remember, in America, you don't have to commit a crime to go to jail. They put people in jail that are innocent every day in this country and don't care. Don't care. Don't even try to fix it. Don't even try to come up with legislation to say, okay, don't put any more innocent people in there. Make sure you do a thorough investigation. Nothing. They're fine with it. See, because it's all about the prison labor. The slavery behind bars getting done for these corporations. They don't care how many innocent people are in there. They don't give a damn. So persuasive and longstanding are these problems, especially mass incarceration. And mass incarceration is also a tool to keep the Black family divided. That they dominate the border narrative about law enforcement and race in the United States. Yet even on this bleak front, there not only can be good news, but there is good news. Specifically, the imprisonment rate for African Americans is falling and has been since 2001, and now stands at its lowest level in more than a quarter century. These remarkable data are hidden in plain sight in the latest annual statistical survey of prisoners issued last week by the Bureau of Justice Statistics. That being said, then there should be no over-policing in the Black community. But there is, ladies and gentlemen, because we are the number one people they want to put in jail for that corporate work, the slavery. They don't want their own people in there doing it. This is why they won't mass incarcerate these drug addicts out here like they did during the crack epidemic. Comparing 2017 survey results with prior years shows that the African American male imprisonment rate has dropped by a third since its peak and is now at a level not seen since 1991. African American women's rate of imprisonment has dropped 57% from its peak and is now at a 30-year low. Yeah, right now, white women are more incarcerated than Black women in this country. Just look at the numbers. See, there's a lot of things they hide and they don't want to be seen. Black males are still incarcerated at a higher number than white males, but that is starting to balance out. It really is, you know? So let's go on. You can see right here the drop in Black males per 100,000 and Black females per 100,000. So you can see the incarcerated rate has dropped for both Black men and Black women. How big a change does this represent? Had African American imprisonment held steady at its highest point, 2001 for men, 1999 for women, instead of declining, about 300,000 more African Americans would be in prison right now. Instead, they're free to live in the community, to raise families, to hold jobs, to be healthy and happy. No, no. Because you got cops that are trained to target Black people and to always act like when they approach us, we're doing something wrong. Okay, I mean, we all are hip to this game that's going on. We're hip to it. We know what you're doing. Dramatic failures command attention and therefore often drive efforts at policy reform and innovation. Yet success can be just as informative, is just as vital to understand why Black imprisonment rates have fallen as it was to understand why they rose. Yet, so far, there is still more decision about the latter than the former. It's time for the debate to catch up with the data. Collapsing crime rates in Black neighborhoods surely reduce imprisonment rates, but how, excuse me, but how did that increase in public safety out about? Did programs make policing and sentencing more equitable? No, 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 it isn't. Okay. Also, contribute. Do prisoners re-enter programs deserve any credit for reducing incarceration? And if so, which ones? What is being done right that should be expanded to accelerate the positive trends? Obviously, there is risk of feeding complacency and taking note of and celebrating the decrease in Black imprisonment. Yet, to do otherwise risks feeding defeatism in the face of clear evidence that progress is possible. It also would miss an opportunity to break down racist myth. The declining imprisonment rate for African Americans definitely rebutes any notion of intractable Black criminality. What's more objective reporting has independent value. The public needs to know that, contrary to what's implied in much media and academic discussion of the issue, it is not true that mass incarceration is still proceeding apace with an increasingly disproportionate impact on African Americans. I don't agree with that, but let's go on. I no, it is still impacting us more disproportionately than anyone else. In fact, the Bureau of Justice statistic data shows that incarceration overall retreated by 10% over the past decade, with the Black rate of decline outpacing that of whites. See, everything's shifting in this society, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what's scaring them. And this is why they are going so far out of control with their violence out in public. We are seeing who's violent. We really are. And we have all along, ladies and gentlemen. You know, and the funny part is, it's even on their news. And they don't even realize they're showing themselves on the news being more violent than anybody else in this society. You know, usually when they show Black people, those Black folks are usually already handcuffed. So you're not seeing any violence from them. I mean, if you're going to make someone look bad, they have not really done a good job except for verbalizing it. Undeniably, today, still high and still disproportionate rate of Black imprisonment represents the appalling legacy of institutional racism. Equally undeniably, the continuing presence of about 1.5 million people in state and federal prison poses a challenge to public policy and the nation's conscience. America don't have a conscience. Okay, I can tell you that right now. They don't have a conscience. But important respects, the situation is getting better. We need to say so. The nation's reformers could use the recognition and the inspiration. Well, America is not looking to inspire the Black community. Many of us already knew things were dropping, actually, for quite some time. And we even notice, all around us, less people are being taken to jail. There's only so much they can do, ladies and gentlemen, in keeping this fakery up that's going on in this rigged up system. It's going to have to fall off one way or another. And it has gone on for centuries. And to this day, if you mention anything they do, they just talk about Chicago. And it's really stupid because when you look at the top worst cities in America, Chicago don't even make the top 10. Chicago don't even list as the most violent. But the city that does, they don't even mention it. Isn't that ironic? But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.